Hey there, are you
wondering how you can become successful?
Are there any challenges you face in life of trying how to become successful?
Don't worry, we got you covered.
We've got you sorted. Join us this Thursday
on Azrael TV on YouTube from 8 p.m.
From 8 p.m.
as we discuss how youth become successful,
how the youth try to become successful,
and how to navigate the challenges that we face both spiritually, physically, and mentally.
Usiachwe nyuma.
Usiachwe nyuma.
Be part of us
every third Thursday of the month,
and for sure your life will not remain the same.
Follow me every third Thursday of the month. Unleash your potential. Be bold, be brave, be you. Usiachwe nyuma.
Hey there, are you
wondering how you can become successful?
Are there any challenges you face in life of trying how to become successful?
Don't worry, we got you covered.
We've got you sorted. Join us
Hey there, are you
wondering how you can become successful?
Are there any challenges you face in life of trying how to become successful?
Don't worry, we got you covered.
We've got you sorted. Join us this Thursday
on Azrael TV on YouTube from 8 p.m.
From 8 p.m.
as we discuss how youth become successful,
how the youth try to become successful,
and how to navigate the challenges that we face both spiritually, physically, and mentally.
Usiachwe nyuma.
Usiachwe nyuma.
Be part of us
every third Thursday of the month,
and for sure your life will not remain the same.
Follow me every third Thursday of the month. Unleash your potential. Be bold, be brave, be you. Usiachwe nyuma.
Hey there, are you
wondering how you can become successful?
Are there any challenges you face in life of trying how to become successful?
Don't worry, we got you covered.
We've got you sorted. Join us this Thursday
on Azrael TV on YouTube from 8 p.m.
From 8 p.m.
as we discuss how youth become successful,
how the youth try to become successful,
and how to navigate the challenges that we face both spiritually, physically, and mentally.
Usiachwe nyuma.
Usiachwe nyuma.
Be part of us
every third Thursday of the month,
and for sure your life will not remain the same.
Follow me every third Thursday of the month. Unleash your potential. Be bold, be brave, be you. Usiachwe nyuma.
Shalom! I wish to bring to your attention a prophetic forum titled Prophetic Mysteries and Divine Knowledge, happening every Friday from 8 p.m. via Azrael TV YouTube channel. It is an open forum where the servant of God, Prophet Dr. Samo Mtishiby, comes on board and delves into profound mysteries and revelations which are beyond our immediate understanding. In this generation, we have a prophet graced with the ability to unlock hidden truths as revealed to him from the throne of God. Hosea 4:6 says that my people perish because they lack knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power. During this forum, you will have an opportunity to ask any spiritual or biblical mysteries that you would wish to have clarity. The Bible says in Jeremiah 3:33, call unto me, and I will show you great and mighty things which you know not. Are you ready to receive prophetic insights? Are you ready to journey into the supernatural wisdom of God? Are you ready to experience these powerful teachings from the servant of God, the prophet? Then this program is for you. Let us meet every Friday from 8 p.m. via Israel YouTube channel. Remember to invite a friend to partake. See you then. Shalom. Shalom. I wish to bring to your attention a prophetic forum titled Prophetic Mysteries and Divine Knowledge, happening every Friday from 8 p.m. via Israel TV YouTube channel. It is an open forum where the servant of God, Prophet Dr. Samo Mtishiby, comes on board and delves into profound mysteries and revelations which are beyond our immediate understanding. In this generation, we have a prophet graced with the ability to unlock hidden truths as revealed to him from the throne of God. Hosea 4:6 says that my people perish because they lack knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power. During this forum, you will have an opportunity to ask any spiritual or biblical mysteries that you would wish to have clarity. The Bible says in Jeremiah 3:33, call unto me, and I will show you great and mighty things which you know not. Are you ready to receive prophetic insights? Are you ready to journey into the supernatural wisdom of God? Are you ready to experience these powerful teachings from the servant of God, the prophet? Then this program is for you. Let us meet every Friday from 8 p.m. via Israel YouTube channel. Remember to invite a friend to partake. See you then. Shalom.
Hey there.
Hey there.
Hey there.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Youth Forum. My name is Yufemi Angoya. I'd like to take this opportunity to also invite my other co-hosts.
I'm Bradley Onyango, fellow co-host.
Hi guys, my name is Henry Ochen. Welcome. We hope to have a fruitful conversation tonight.
Before we begin, I'd like to briefly explain to you guys what we usually have weekly in this sanctuary. On Tuesdays, we have intricacies of ministry calling. On Wednesday, we have a worship moment. On Thursday, we have 3 sessions. The first Thursday of the month, we have the Women's Forum. The second Thursday of the month, we have the Men's Forum. And the third, we have the Youth Forum. On Friday, we have Prophetic Ministries and Divine Knowledge. I'll put it over to my colleague, Manuela, to continue. now I'd like to welcome the prophet to introduce himself and also give us a word of prayer.
Thank you so much, our viewers. I'm Prophet Samo. Glad to be invited by the youths of Voice of Porters Messengers Ministry, Nairobi headquarters, for a healthy discussion concerning success. So I'm very glad to be here. I want to believe you guys, you are ready to draw fresh and living water from the mind and the wisdom of a prophet. Let's pray. Father, what a beautiful thing it is for the generation to consult from you. As we begin this program, let the divine knowledge, understanding, and secrets of wisdom flow into their lives so that their future of tomorrow will be better. May this program become a key of fulfillment to the prophecy and the word of Prophet Jeremiah, that you know the plans you have, and they are good plans, and they are all about hope and a future. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Prophet, the first question I'd like to ask is, how can the youth become successful?
How can youths become successful? Allow me to tackle that question in segment. It's one question, but I may really wish to handle this question or that question in series of segments. Number one is how. To me, if I was to define the word how, then I can define it like a mechanism, a system. What system? So let's look at the word how as a mechanism. Become, it's a plan. Successful, it's the outcome. So a mechanism that can change somebody to become a result. How can a youth become successful? In life, there is what we call word and the power of word. And that is exactly what one of the wisest counselor who ever lived, more wiser than Solomon, is called Jesus Christ. The only wisest man who has ever lived, more wiser than Solomon, was Jesus Christ on earth. This wise man one day said, "You people are perishing because you don't know the word and the power of the word." That was after some people had asked him a very funny question concerning a young lady who was married by 7 brothers and she was unable to give birth and they all died, and they wanted to know what shall become or what was to become of her with these 7 men in heaven. Whose wife was she now going to be? And that's when this wise man, who is my boss actually, that's why I have to quote him, because he's my boss, he's the one I serve. He responded by using those words, 2 technical words. He said, there was the word and the power of the word. Now, as young men, I want you to capture this, that every time people talk, listen to what they have said, but find the power of what they said. It is in the power of the word you find the truth. So whatever people will say in life, whether in jokes or they are drunk or they are mad or they are angry, what they say, listen to it. But after listening, check the power of that particular word they spoke. Then there you will know what actually they meant. That's why the Bible says, from the second wisest man, because this is a program of youth. So I will always draw wisdom from the greatest wise people. And because I didn't read the literatures of the world, so I can't quote the likes of Martin Luther's and so on, because me, all my life, I've read the Bible. And so I will quote wisdom from the wisest people found within the Word of God. So the second wisest man, who is now Solomon, says this: be careful when you stand in the presence of God, For the angel of God is listening. He is listening. You will not tell him it was a joke. Be careful when you stand in the presence of God. As you talk, be careful. Why? Because there is an angel of God listening. And so whatever you talk, he hears. And you cannot come to erase. It's unerasable. You cannot come and tell him, no, angel, I was just joking. Because they don't just listen to what we say, but they look at the power behind the words that we spoke. So let's look at that question from the angle of power of words. How? It's a mechanism. If I was to look at the power of how, I see a mechanism, a system. To become, it's a plan. Then success, it's the outcome, the fulfillment of that plan. Now, the answer. How can a youth become successful? Number one, you must be a youth who understands the road that you are walking on. Many youths, they have failed in life because they don't have a road. Every road they meet, they want to walk on it. Every road they come across, they want to drive on it. Every road they come across, they want to cycle on it. You must know the type of a path you are walking on. And so I want you to look at the kind of paths we have. We have got three types of paths. We have the paths of the air, we have the paths of the land, and we have the paths of the sea, waters. So each path has got its special system of operation. So if you know that your path is along the sea, water, then you must either be a ship, a boat, something that can sail, because on the water you can only sail. And if you are a part of the land, then there are mechanisms also put there. It's either you are being driven as a train on a rail or on a road, but you have to be driven. And if you are sailing on the air, then you just have to fly. Now, once you know the path and the mechanism, then you must understand the dynamics, which are challenges. If you are sailing, you'll never meet mountains, but don't forget there are storms and tides. And so the only option you have is to tread careful, because if you don't tread carefully, then you have got only one result. One day you shall sink. But you cannot sink on the land. Are you getting me? I know I've started these answers with a lot of riddles, but as we move on, we'll keep on breaking this. But I want you to see the picture of life, what life offers, you know. And in case you are being driven on the land, then expect the dynamics of the land, which are hills that can become mountains, slopes that can become valleys, or a flat surface. You will meet hills that might turn into mountains, or you will meet slopes that might become valleys, or a flat surface. And if you are flying, then expect to meet strong winds and weather changes. But there is only one technical way to survive all this. You must know how to navigate. But there are principles of navigation. Know when and the angles. Don't just navigate because you want to navigate. And what is navigation? Navigation means making the right turns in the right time with the right speed. Know how to navigate. So either on water, on land, on air, turns must be made. And so what does that mean? you cannot succeed until you develop a spirit of a fighter. So if you are a young man who doesn't know how to fight, and if you are a young man who don't have the spirit of fighting, then you cannot succeed. You must know how to fight. And now look at any young man you know who ever succeeded in his life. He was a fighter. And this does not mean going out to punch people. Fight means know when to attack, know when to withdraw. Know when to get in, know when to get out. Know when to say yes, know when to say no. Know when to say fine, know when to say I'm not fine. Know when to say I'm part of it, and know when to say I'm not part of that. Those are now what we define as principle.
Prophet, before you proceed, there's something that you've mentioned, which I think maybe we can delve into that before
Yes.
you proceed. You've spoken about the first, the road or the paths. So, being that you mentioned there are three, I think it would be important for a young person who is watching out there to maybe know or understand, how do you know like your path? Because I assume your path is probably your destiny, what you need to.
Path is defined in three ways.
Yes.
The best people who have succeeded in life, they are people who had parents who understood them. Some of us, we are struggling in life because of the errors that our parents did unto us.
Yes.
There are three ways to know your path. Are you gifted? Or are you talented? Or are you skilled? It's out of these three things, one of the three, or the three of them, or two of the three, that makes you to know your path. So if you are skilled, then we are talking of someone who is under a profession. But who is your role model? Because you are not the first one. In life, never be the first one. Let there be somebody who was ahead of you. Somebody that you admire to be better than him or her. Many people, they have mistaken the Ten Commandments, do not admire. But even Paul says, admire me the way I admire Christ. So many people, they are living a life without a role model. You must find a role model. Then when you find a role model, don't just know about him or her. Do more studies about that person. What are you trying to find? You are trying to find out what she did or what he did, how he did what he did, and what did he achieve. So what was the end mark? That is, if he's a dead person or he retired. Then can you make an extra inch? Get this. You can't be a record breaker if you have not done better than whoever did last.
Actually, there's this quote that says, if you want to learn from a mentor, you emulate the good things that this mentor does.
Yes.
You identify the weaknesses of this mentor.
Yes.
And now you strengthen on the weaknesses of this mentor. That is the only way. Like if right now I want to be a prophet like you, I will study what is it that you do to be a good prophet. Mm-hmm. Then I will study what is it that you could do better, where your weaknesses are. Mm-hmm. And that is where now I capitalize.
And now you become better.
Yes.
That's what I was actually talking about. Yeah. You must know your mentor, what he achieved, mm-hmm. how he achieved what he achieved, and the last stage. Then what were his challenges? So once you identify those three things, you become. So there are three lines here. Find out, are you skilled? Or are you gifted? Are you talented? Now, let's differentiate. Let's look at the difference between the three. What is a talent? A talent is an inborn ability. that you don't know how to do it, but when the time of doing it comes, you do it better. When people ask you, how did you do it? You cannot explain, but you did it. And if they tell you to repeat what you did, you will do it even now more better than the way you did it, because it's a talent. It's an inborn ability. Okay? That's a talent. But for a talent to keep shining, one must remain practicing. That's the law. So training is a must. If you don't train harder, then the talent will die. So what kills a talent? Training. You bring games on your training sessions, and that's why you see people who are talented. They are ever training. You ask him or her, you know, look at someone like Omanyala. He's a police officer, but you'll never find him in the streets arresting thieves and lawbreakers. He's busy in the fields training, because he is a police officer that the Department of Police has identified his gift. So his mission is to bring glory to that department. So he is ever training. But how many medals has he kept on winning? Several. So why can't he just sit down and say, okay, I am the world, this, I am the world. Somebody somewhere is training to outdo him. So how can he defend his titles, his glory? He has to keep on training. So if you are talented, then practice and training is the only. You have to train more. And that's why they say too much training and practice makes perfect. Can you imagine? Too much of something is poison, but too much of practice makes perfect. So it's only too much of practice that is not poisonous. Any other thing, too much of it is poisonous, but not training if you have a talent. So no matter how hard you train, no matter how much you keep on training, it will never be negative. It will make you better. But that is for people who are talented. For people who are gifted, it's the obedient to the gift giver. So what is a gift? A gift is something that someone has offered you for a purpose. Let's look at an example of someone who is operating under a gift. Prophet Samo here. Mine is not a talent. I am gifted to be a prophet. That's why you tell me, prophet would like to host you for a divine talk. Then I don't have time to sit, I'm looking at notes. My time is to call the master. Master, these young men have invited me for a talk. Their discussion, their topic is success. What should I talk to them? Then the master tells me, go and talk to them about this. That's it. So to keep a gift, you must always be faithful to the master, the giver of the gift. But skill, you must do more research. For skills, you have to do more research. And that's why in universities, people are sent before they graduate. What are they sent to do? To do a research. And remember, that's the highest level of education. There is no research in primary, because that's not the end of education. There is no research in secondary. That's not the end. But now when you specialize at the university level, research is a must. And every grade of university, there is a research behind it. But there's no research in secondary, because there you are just getting a certificate. But it's at the university where you will come with a title. You are a doctor, you are an engineer, you are, at university. Did anyone come with a title for scoring A in KCSE Form 4? Even if you get all the subjects, is there any title you come out? People just say you are clever, you are genius, that's all. But at university, there is a title. And before you are awarded that title, which is a name have power, there is a research. So to keep knowledge, which is now skill, the profession, there has to be a research. So if you are professionally on something, you have to do more research about it. And you can't get a professional title if you did not acquire it. That's why you see in gift there's no price to pay. In talent, it's a natural from your mother's womb. But in skill, you have to pay. And even the Bible says from Solomon, no matter how expensive it is, seek knowledge. No matter how expensive it is. So it's only knowledge that is very. And if education is life, why do they put school fees? We used to be told education is the key of who doesn't want life. But why do they tag a lot of money? And look, the professional, your profession is, the expensive it is. Because you cannot acquire it and remain the same. You get it, your life is transformed. So at the end of the day, all these things requires discipline. And what is discipline? Discipline is not to shake. Discipline is not to say, to talk to people with a low voice. Discipline is not to shy, look down when people are talking. Discipline is to do what is supposed to be done. Discipline, it is doing what is supposed to be done. So if you are supposed to be at 7 reading, you must be there. Then you are disciplined. Even me, whenever I'm supposed to be on the mountain, there is no shortcut, because that's what keeps my gift. I'm supposed to be on the mountain, I have to be there. How I will reach there is not God's business, it is my business. God's business is, am I there at the time I'm supposed to be there? So discipline, it is doing things as they are supposed to be done. Then we say you are disciplined. But when you start breaking the laws of things, then you are not disciplined. So it's the discipline that keeps you going. But knowing the path, you have to identify there. So even as I'm talking to you today, you need to ask yourself, who am I?
Okay, Prophet, I'd like to ask, despite all these things that you're saying, who do you define as a successful youth? Where do you get success?
Where do you get success? You get success when you become.
As in, I mean, like, who do you define as a successful youth?
A successful youth to me is a young man who has kept the 3 principles of patience, commitment, and persistence. That's the success. Because getting vehicle, you are not a successful person. You just have vehicle. How about the one who invented the vehicle? He's the success. If you say today, I've succeeded in life because I'm driving the latest, it is the latest because somebody invented it. So if you want to come back to the community and tell people you are great, how about the one who invented the vehicle? How about if he comes and gives 10 people free vehicles in the same community? Are you still the hero? So who is a successful man? A successful youth. A successful youth is the one who knows what he or she wants to be in life, and she's committed, she's patient, and she's a persistent person. So what do you want to be, Bradley?
I want to be an engineer.
Now, how patient are you? Because there is a price to pay for you to become an engineer. And that price, it's built in something called patience. You see, many people fail in life because they want to start in the morning and they want to become in the afternoon. Even a seed is planted, there are several nights of the ground looking like there's nothing. But one day, you will find the seed germinating, cracking the ground. Then it has a process to go through before it becomes a tree. Then it goes the process of shedding flowers. And some trees, the first fruits, they do rot, fall down. But it does not give up. But there are people who want to succeed within hours. Everything has a time frame. Some trees, they will produce leaves and shed them off. Before it becomes a cake, it was something else. There is a process. And that process requires patience. So whenever you hear someone says, I'm getting out of my patience, that is a fool. I'm becoming impatient, that is a fool. Actually, I'm getting out of patience, I'm becoming impatient is a language and a term of fools. Because you can only say I'm getting out of patience if you didn't know what you wanted. And then it means you have come in a wrong place. It's like a woman who wants to be a mother, she conceives, and then she says she's getting out of patience, she wants to give birth. 2 months. What is she likely to give birth to? Blood. You see? So, number one, if you want to measure your wisdom, study your patience. How patient can you be? The word patience is a term that I can break several things in it. But as we move on, I'll be breaking things. Because one of the things inside patience is called tolerance. What is it that you can tolerate? And for how long? And what is it that you cannot tolerate? So, I can be patient, but there are things I cannot tolerate. But that does not mean I'm not patient. I am patient, yes, but there are things I cannot tolerate. And I'll just tell you, please, if you want us to continue, this must stop. Because with this, I don't take it. If you're gonna take this path, then I'm likely to make my mind. But I've not made my mind. I've not quitted. I am not quitting. I'm just telling you some of the things that can make me quit. But I'm still here with you. I am still here for you. But there are just things that I cannot tolerate. So that does not mean I don't have patience. I'm a very patient man. Look at God. He's a very patient God, but he doesn't tolerate sins. That's why he has created Jehannam. But has he destroyed people who are sinning? He has sent us to go and preach to them so that they stop sinning. Because he's a loving God. So look at him. He's loving, full of love, but he doesn't entertain sins. And what does he say? I call it a sin if you don't come to explain it to me. How about if you come and explain it to me? Then it's not a sin, because I want to understand why you're doing what you're doing. That's why he said, come to me. Even if your sins they are as red as blood, come and let us reason. Then I will make them as white as snow. So they are still sins, but changed from red to white. Okay? Which in the human language, I can term it like a waiver. What is a waiver? A waiver is something that you are supposed to pay, but you are not paying, but you are getting the thing. Somebody. So that's what God is talking about. I will call it a sin if you don't come to explain it to me. But if you come and tell me, then I've never been a man. I have been a God, but I created a man. So there are things about a man which I don't understand because I've never been a man. Come and explain to me, then I will understand. And do you know how he understands? He tells you how to do it now. So the same thing he will grant you, but he will teach you how to go about it. He will not take it away. You wanted this microphone? Fine. This microphone, you can get it, but you don't need to steal. Just go there and sign that form and come and take the microphone. So do you still not have the microphone? But you wanted to steal it. Now he tells you don't steal. Just go to that office and tell them I've told them to hand over the microphone to you. So you still have the same microphone you wanted, but God has changed the approach of you getting the microphone. You wanted to use a wrong one. So patience is the first principle. First, know what you want, the path. Then you must be patient to pay the price. There are some businesses, if you want to be a businessman, for example, there are some businesses that have to shake you. There are some, if you want to be a business person, there are some businesses that you can't do until you become a servant of another person who has been or who is doing that business, so that you learn the skills. Not that you can't do it, but you must go through somebody as a servant. Now, if you are not patient to be a servant, you are told, go, come. You start feeling, why are they sending me so much? No, that multiple assignment unapatiwa, those multiple assignment, it is exposing you to the skills. Don't be adamant, don't be arrogant, because that man can do it, that woman can do it. When he's sending you, when she's sending you, she or he is exposing you to what you would have not known if you remained indoor. But because you have been sent out there, you are learning something. Because there are two things. You will come with success or a failure. When you come with a failure, they will tell you where you failed. Next time you will never fail. When you come with a success, you have mastered an art on how to bring that success. So it gives you a very good room. Now when your time comes to start your own project, to start your own business, you know the do's and the don'ts. Because that program of being a servant exposed you to the knowledge which God wanted you to have, so that you become.
So generally, like for this generation of ours, impatience is one of the major reasons why people are not successful.
This generation impatient, I've even seen it in church here. Let me give you an example. I've seen people in church that personally, I gave them a moment to preach first Sunday, second Sunday, third Sunday. On the fourth Sunday, they went out, they said, you know, nowadays I just preach like Prophet Samo. In fact, I have the word. I know one of my son, one day who walked to me and told me, you know, Papa, when I go outside there and I start singing and I just start shaking one leg, people just start falling. Then I told him, one problem is that I don't make people fall. I make people go down for God. For you, they are falling. For me, they are bowing to my God. That's the difference. So to him, because he can shake the leg and people fall, he is more powerful. But he has not learned the art. For me, when I sing and people go down, why do they go down? I don't shake, but I bring the glory, and people connect with their God through my voice. And people go down on their knees, they cry. They are not crying because the song is sweet. They are crying because the songs that Prophet Sam is singing is connecting them with God. Getting the point? And what can lead to such a son or a daughter to tell me those kind of things? Impatient. Impatient. Do you know what? I'm in my 40. I'm approaching my late 50. Now imagine if I started serving God at age 10. Those are how many decades I've served? Almost 5 decades. So you want to tell me, wewe umeokoka jana, uko na only 3 years, 4 years. Do you have the same experience I have? And you know what? They say people who are fully experienced, they are calm. An empty debe makes noise. A full debe doesn't make noise. So the experience makes Prophet Sam to be a very calm person. Until you approach. That's when you realize, so this man carries this. But how will you know what is inside the debe if you don't have patience? Now, let's look at it from the Bible. Elijah is going, Elisha is following. Elijah is coming to an end with his first phase of work. Elisha has an interest of becoming the next Elijah. Then he asks, what can I do? Then Elisha says, I want the double portion of what you carry. Then the answer is, if you see. Was it then and there? It was something to happen. So for it to happen, what did Elisha require to apply? Patience.
could say the same even for David, because David was anointed as a young man.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he had
At
to,
17.
Yes.
Look at the time he becomes the king.
Yeah.
Why couldn't God just remove Saul and put him there? He needed to wait and train. And God sent waves and storms. Those waves and storms was to train David. And what did he need? Patience. So don't be patient at the stage. Don't be patient at the bus station. Be patient on the route while walking. Don't go and say, Prophet told us we have to be patient, and you are doing nothing. Be patient while you're doing something. So don't live here and you become, stagnant. You are not moving, you are not doing anything, and you say, oh, Prophet said people must be patient. Yes, be patient while doing something. Find out the path. Are you a machine on the ground? Are you a machine on water? Or are you a machine on the air? That is your wishes. What do you want to be?
Prophet, maybe if I can ask, what about a youth who has given up on their path? How can you encourage them?
A youth who has given up on the path, I can tell him first, or her, this. If you cannot give up on nothing, people give up on something. What was it that you gave up on? I've never seen people give up on nothing. We give up on something. What we give up on, find out the value of that thing. Because stones are so many. If I wanted to collect granites, I just need to go outside there with my bare hand. But if I wanted to collect gold, I have to do something called mining. For granite, I need to do something called crushing and cutting. For gold, I have to do mining and burning. So, dreams and wishes are not the same. Some are low, some are here, and some are very here. If your dream is high, the price is very high. So, the reason why some people give up is simply because they are coward. So, you cannot succeed if you are a coward. You must have what we call brave and boldness.
If I may ask, apart from this, at this time in the world, there are many cases, like there are wars everywhere right now. The governments are falling apart, corruption left, right, and center. And the youth are feeling like they are not given a chance to raise up their paths and get the success that they need. So maybe that's the point where they...
That is stupidity. Let me tell you something. A youth who goes in the street making noise and throwing stone, that is a foolish youth. Because a youth can change status when he decides to become. Leaders are corrupt. What change are you bringing? When you go to the street, are you bringing change? Why don't you work hard, work smarter, become the next leader with different opinion and different service? Simple. Now, let's look at some people in the history of the world. Elon Musk. Is he a politician? But has he contributed change into the world? Let's look at another youth. A man, Elon Musk, is just there some few years ago, he was a youth. Let's look at another youth from Africa. Somebody will say, oh, why are you using white people? Let me give you an example of a youth from Africa, Ibrahim Traore. You have even heard him when he's addressing the nation. What does he tell them? I am not a politician, I am a soldier and the change of my people. That's what I came for. Are you seeing this? And he has become an influence to both youth and old people. And he's just a youth who sat down and said, I can become a president without shedding blood. The technique he used, it's only him who knows. But how many people also did the same thing that Torre did, but they never succeeded? Many. So going into the street does not solve anything. How about the youths coming up with a system, a network system of inspiring all the youths, and they come up with a mechanism? How can we change our system of the governance? It is by voting. The youth takes the higher population. Look at this. In your family, you might be 5 children, but you don't have 5 fathers. A family can have 10 siblings, but they don't have 10 mothers. They only have 1 father and 1 mother, or 1 father and 2 mothers, or 3 mothers. But when you look at the number of youths or children in that family, there are more. So, which means the youth can bring a change. They don't need to go into the street and die. They don't need to. If they were to reach out each other, take votes. We are voting youth so and so because of A, B, C, D. And you go by the law. The law does not say a youth cannot lead a nation. Then even the youths who happen to have gotten opportunity to be in the government earlier, the likes, for example, in Kenya, the likes of Babu Wino, the likes of Sonko, you know, we have so many youths, the like of Jaguar, you know, we have so many youths who entered the government and they were a source of inspiration. They team up with these new youths who are coming up, the likes of Akina Morara and so on. We or you people can bring a change. But going into the street, you are fighting thief A because thief B is sponsoring you. And then at the end of the day, when you die, thief B want to use your funeral as a point of campaign. That's exactly what the youths are being taken through in this country. They are not fighting for anything better. There is nothing they are fighting for. Because even the youths of our old grandfather, when they said enough was enough against the white people, they didn't go into the streets. They went into the forest. It was from the forest they brought the independence, not in the streets. Getting the point? So, what is happening to many youths right now? They are confused. The young generations are confused. And that's why for me, when I see them in the street, I'm not seeing anything worthy. Because 100 billion, for example, was stolen to build a road of 2 kilometers, which has been helping your father and your mother to transport the potatoes to the market so that you can get education. But that road of 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers, 100 billion was stolen. The cost of doing that job was 1 billion. 99 billions were stolen. But still, that road, it's helping you to have the education because your father and your mother is using it to transport potatoes. Then you come to ban the same road. What will happen? It is your father and your mother who uses mkokoteni to reach there will suffer. Because now the road is unpassable. Who made it worse? You. The thief will come back and say, the youth destroyed this road. We have to repair it. Now we need 200 billion. Now they are not stealing 99. They are stealing 199 billion. That is exactly the game that politicians are playing. But if the youths of this country or any other nation, they want to bring a change, they can bring a change very easily. You have the power. Use the power. And what is the power? The power is the very thing that took the thief there. can you use it also to take the right person there? And the answer is yes. And let's imagine if the youth were to vote, this is the direction. 5 people in our family voting this direction. My mother will not be against our dreams. My father will not be against our dream. Because what we just need to do is to agree, and we go and campaign to our parents. So what does that mean? In the voting day, it's not just us, the youth, plus our parents, they will go our way. Because why did they pay a lot of money in school? So that we can have a future. Now, why should they not understand us when we tell them, Daddy, don't vote for that person because he is stealing that future you wanted us to have? There's no way my father will go against that. So these things you see the youths of the country going through, I can assure you it's being facilitated within. They say if you can't kill a lion, use the lion to kill itself. That's the technique which is being used here. That's the technique being used here. Because these people know that the youths of this country have power to take them out. Use the same youth to retain them. So that is the advice I can give the youths of this nation. Going into the street and doing what, it is helping nothing. When they block the roads, it is their own fathers and mother who will not take the eggs to the market, who will not take the potatoes to the market. In fact, those people, the thieves one, that day you have given them an oath of not stealing, at least to stay at home and take the tea that they stole and drink. And they are busy watching the screen that day as they feast on what they stole. When you think that you are blocking the roads, destroying the roads, you're not, it's affecting them nowhere. It's affecting them nowhere. And if the youths were to look at things direct from that direction, then they will just tell these people, we don't have a problem with you. We'll keep on sending sensitization. We'll keep on displaying your mistakes. Today you have stolen 10,000, you banked it. With the knowledge that you people have as the youth, you can hack anything. If Kenya, you people hacked even the devil when he did not pay the rent. You know, Kenya, we can do anything. It's only in Kenya that we have heard the mother of Jesus has been found in 3 different places. Jesus himself in 3 different places, you know. And this Jesus of this side doesn't know the Jesus of the other side. And they are all claiming to be Jesus. So Kenya is a very funny and unique country. If we were to go around exposing these things, all the youths to know, our parents to know who has stolen what and where did he go to bank it, who has stolen what and where did she go to bank it, these people cannot be there in the next election. The shame will be too big even for themselves to come out. And that's how we'll start finding within ourselves who are the Ibrahim Torres of our nation. Who are they? And once we find them, we give them the position required. And that's it. So basically, that's what I can say about the youths who are going into the streets. Thank you.
Prophet, you've said that one of the ways to know your path is by finding a role model. And most of the youth from our generation, they look up to people that they see on social media. And most of these people, they are not that well off. They fake their life on the screens. And this making the youth to feel as if they are of less value. What can you tell?
That's why I said, one of the biggest mistakes that we have been brought up with, it is the foundation that our fathers and our mothers allowed. First, without contradiction, our system of education is poor. But the blame is not to the government. The blame is to our parents. Our parents never took time to find out our interests, our passion, what we love. Some of us, we were forced to become what our neighbors were. Some of us, we became teachers because our parents saw another home with teachers. And the mother and the father said, my son, I must also have a teacher. So you were born in slavery. And those who enslaved you, they are the very people who are to give you life. And they paid the price of enslaving you. So majority of people, they are doing things that they never love. So once you start doing what you don't love, you are a slave. You will never come up with better things because you are doing it for the sake of doing it. Then finally you start doing it. You start by doing it for the sake of doing it. Then finally you start doing it for the sake of living.
You end up being an unhappy individual.
Then when you start doing for the sake of living, you are completely unhappy. So by the time these things sets you free, you are 50 years, you have gone retirement. You have no power of changing your life. But let's imagine our parents took time to take us into a system of global interaction, whereby they take you to school to understand language. And which is the most important language here? English. Okay? You go to school whereby you are given proper foundations of communication. For example, English. Then the parents start looking at, what does my daughter love? What does my son love? But what are the strengths that I'm seeing in this child? Then the father or the mother start becoming a role model by influencing you to love that thing. That's why you see some people goes up to Form 4, but they still don't know what they're gonna be. And look at now, the government finds an opportunity, and I will not cheat you as a prophet. The education system that is still running this country, or many African nations, it's a colonial system. Remember, the colonists came to steal. So they had to train us in a manner that we became their subordinate to assist them stealing. Their mission was to steal from Africa. So the education they brought was not an education to make Africa shine. It was an education to make Africa betray itself. The Africans to betray their motherland so that they can expose the treasure or the treasuries. That was the education they gave us. They came when we were speaking Luya. They came when we were speaking Luo. They came when we were speaking Kikuyu. They came when we were speaking Masai. How could they know where the treasurers are if we didn't learn their language? And so what did they do? Those who learned their language, they were made to become the stars by being given white-collar job. And up to date, you go to university so that you can get a good job. Okay? Okay, the good job you are looking for, who created it? Devil or God? Just another human being. So if one person can create a job which you want to be employed so that you can be called a manager, a director, why can't you also create a job? Just allow me finish, then you bring your question. Now you see, you realize that in life now, you have just failed naturally. You have just failed naturally. But in the ancient time, our old great-grandfathers, whenever a child was born, they could study the children when they are playing. When they are playing, they could see one child like fighting. He has beaten this one, he has beaten the other one is crying, what is it? So and so has beaten me. Then this child could be identified as a child who has a spirit of warrior. That child could be taken into the community military. He starts being trained. He become a champion, a warrior. Another child, just like, he wakes up, the chickens, then they realize this child can be a livestock keeper. Another one just love planting things. Then they know this child is a farmer. Another one amepita hivi, ameokota matawi, amekatakata matawi, kwa nguo anapatikana matawi. This child can be a medicine person. He start being told that green plant treats this and this. That one, when you combine with that one, it treats this and this. That was the African continent before the invaders came in. You have to get that. And let no one cheat you that we didn't have education. Because even our great-great-grandfather, they knew how many cows they had, they knew how many goats they had, they knew how many sheep they had. That is mathematics. Are you understanding me? Even our great-great-great-grandfathers, they knew how many wives they had. Every man knew how many children he had. And how do you know how many if it's not math? So we were just twisted to serve them. And that is the system of education that our government is still sponsoring. That's why even our education is still being sponsored by colonies. Because they know we change from that system of education, we get our independence. When they knew they had psychologically captured us, they removed the handcuffs from the hands. Before they knew they had captured us here, our hands were tied. When they realized that they had totally captured our minds, then they removed the chains from our forefathers. Then they were deceived. Now you have independence. So the independence we were given, it is free hands to serve them, but still chained minds, enslaved minds. That is the independence that we were given. And that's why you see even our members of parliament, someone goes into the parliament, they start going abroad. They go abroad, they keep on growing. And those trips are sponsored by those people. Why can't we also sponsor their trips for them to come to Africa? So it is the youth generation of Africa to wake up. So how do you know your path? If you don't know it, you missed something. Let me give you a good example.
Before you do that, Prophet,
yes.
I think what you were saying initially is that a lot of times it's our parents who failed to identify if you have a gift, if you have a talent, or if you have a skill.
Yes.
Once they identify that you have one of these three things, they encourage you to develop either a skill or a talent or a gift.
Yes.
So I think at this juncture, our viewers, we would like to take a very short break, but we are going to be back with more in-depth knowledge from Prophet. He's going now to take us to another level. So stay tuned and send your questions so that you can also tap from this knowledge.
Shalom. I wish to bring to your attention a prophetic forum titled Prophetic Mysteries and Divine Knowledge, happening every Friday from 8 p.m. via Israel TV YouTube channel. It is an open forum where the servant of God, Prophet Dr. Samo Mtishiby, comes on board and delves into profound mysteries and revelations which are beyond our immediate understanding. In this generation, we have a prophet graced with the ability to unlock hidden truths as revealed to him from the throne of God. Hosea 4:6 says that my people perish because they lack knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power. During this forum, you will have an opportunity to ask any spiritual or biblical mysteries that you would wish to have clarity. The Bible says in Jeremiah 3:33, "Call unto me, and I will show you great and mighty things which you know not." Are you ready to receive prophetic insights? Are you ready to journey into the supernatural wisdom of God? Are you ready to experience these powerful teachings from the servant of God, the prophet? Then this program is for you. Let us meet every Friday from 8 p.m. via Israel YouTube channel. Remember to invite a friend to partake. See you then. Shalom. I wish to bring to your attention a prophetic forum titled Prophetic Mysteries and Divine Knowledge, happening every Friday from 8 p.m. via Ezreal TV YouTube channel. It is an open forum where the servant of God, Prophet Dr. Samo Mtishiby, comes on board and delves into profound mysteries and revelations which are beyond our immediate understanding. In this generation, we have a prophet graced with the ability to unlock hidden truths as revealed to him from the throne of God. Hosea 4:6 says that my people perish because they lack knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power. During this forum, you will have an opportunity to ask any spiritual
Hey viewers, welcome back to today's forum. Before we continue, I would like to inform you, if you have any questions, kindly write them down on the chat box. And also, if you would wish Prophet to intervene upon any situation in your life, you can send it on the number below down the screen over there. But before that, I would like to welcome all our online viewers. We have Mercy Mukunda, Nessa Jones, Reverend Beryl, Apostle Violet Chibeu, Apostle Martin Opio, Jacob Onyango, West One Classic, Billy Kamango, Samuel Aresi, Quincy K, Apostle Florence Odero, Reverend Miriam, Tom Obingo, Sos Peter Ngoya, Afi Nyapolo, Betty Otieno, Gabriel Samo, Vivian Ngoya, Feni Auma, Christine Mwembe, Patricia Kirundi, Josephine Makoha, James Otachi, Lavenda Justina, Doreen Washiali, Beth Berry, Elizabeth Esibi, Moses Njoroge, Fanny Sasiko, Simona Francisca, Alfie Katz TM, we have Shem Omondi, and Akinyi Florence and Saliki. Prophet, we have two questions that have been posed in the chat box. One is from West One Classics. He said, but in the world we live today, young people define it differently. Like seeing a youth person living a lavish life and they say they have made it. Is that success? It's affecting young people outside.
Living a youthful life, and they have been?
Living a lavish life and saying that they have made it. Is that called success?
Let's define what is to make it in life. Look at this. Before you became a youth, you were a child.
Actually, I think one important thing before you proceed, Prophet, is maybe define who is a youth.
Who is a youth?
Yes.
A youth is a man who is in the age of 24 to 44. You are a youth.
So it's not what we've been told before, that it's between 18 and 35.
No. I am not speaking from the mind of a man. I'm speaking from the mind of God. Between 24 to 44, you are a youth. Subtract that.
20 years.
20 years. And let me tell you something. Life has been set in a package of 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. So from 0 to 20 years, God knows you as a child. Then you have 4 years of transition. Then from 24 to 44, God knows you as a man, a youth, a gentleman. Those are the ages of people like Joshua in the Bible, David in the Bible. You know?
Even Jesus himself.
Even Jesus himself, that package. Then you have another 4 years of grace between 44 to 48. Then you start the age of 70, another 20 years. So count 20 plus 4, 24. 24 plus 20, 44. 44 plus 4, 48. 48 plus 20, 68. You are approaching the death 70, where you start the grace. 3 segments of life. So who is a youth? A youth is a man who is between 24 to 44. Because at that time, your age, your mind is working very accurately. Your senses are you have the energy to make changes. So it peaks from 24, going. At 40, 44, it starts now making the curve. So it's something that comes like this, then it has the bending point, 4 years, then it starts going. Then it has the bending. After 20 years, it starts making the bending. Then it starts going. So it goes like that as you go. Today, a man of 60 years, tell him to run. He cannot run. Look at sports. At what age do people retire in sports? 40. Because at that time, they have done a study. If you pass that stage in sports, you are likely to injure your body. You will just start having injuries because the body cannot take it. The body cannot take it. So at 44, you start now gaining the wisdom. So a young man doesn't have wisdom, has the brains. An old man has wisdom. He is giving the young man the experience. So if this is the person who wants to live a lavish life at that age, what is he going to live past that age? Because at that time, there are things that as a youth you should do. That is the time as a youth you should start thinking of having a family. Between 24 and 44. That is the time as a youth you should establish yourself. At past 44 as a youth, you should not be employed. Now I'm teaching you, a youth who wants to succeed in life. Past 44, you should not be looking for a job to be employed. You should be employed or you have employed. 2 things. Why? Because at that time, it's not investing, it is establishment. So at 44, you want to start investing. You are doomed. You should be established. Established in what? Established in your path. I am Prophet Samo. Wherever I go, people call me prophet. Why? Because that is my area and I've been established. Today you came here to sit with Prophet Samo. Why? Because I've been established. But when I was 27, 28, I was working towards my establishment. Today my kids, they go out, people ask them, what does your father do? He's a servant of God. And there are people outside there who know Prophet Samo, this is the kind of a person he is. He doesn't take this, and he doesn't do that, and he doesn't entertain that. I am established. So what is to be established? We'll have a program of that, where we'll talk in depth about being established. That's when people will realize they have material, but they are not established. You can have material, but you are not yet established. You just acquired material, but you are not established. Because every man or woman who is established, there is something behind establishment. You know what it is? Legacy. Not every rich man has a legacy. So, at a certain age of a youth, it's good to enjoy these things. Have them. Have the big screen, have the big woofer, have the big bed, have the nice wardrobe with nice shoes, have all kinds of lipsticks, paint blue here, red here, white here, look a flag on your mouth. But that thing has a period. That thing has a period. Don't overstay in it. Okay? Don't overstay in it. Because if you overstay in it, you will mess up with your future. So as we'll be moving on with these programs, we'll start teaching youths the stages and the years. What you're supposed to do at what stage. What you're supposed to do at what stage. Then you live a well-calculated life. That's why you find there are some people who missed a stage, they want to do that thing at an old stage. They go back to doing what we call revision. I jumped this, I jumped this, I jumped this. But someone who went through the stages perfectly, you live a perfect life. So, before I miss the point, you had asked me a question about what makes a youth to succeed. One of you had asked me the question. I said, number one, know your path. Who are you? That should be the question to ask yourself. Who are you? So, if I was to ask probably all of us here, probably I know most of you here, you are based on profession. You have gone to colleges, you have gone to universities, and so if I was to ask you a simple question, who are you? Let me start with Henry. Who are you? Apart from Henry, who are you?
I am an architect. I am a graphic designer. I used to play basketball, so I still consider myself a basketballer. And recently I am a dad.
You are
a dad.
A dad?
Yes.
So you are a father, you are an architect, and you are a graphic designer, a former basketballer. So you see, the basket, you are out of it.
Yeah.
So there is something that has dropped in your life, okay? Yeah. Now, let me go back and ask you, what did you achieve in the basket? Before, now it's no longer new,
yes.
But what did you achieve?
A lot of relationships, bonds created with friends who now became brothers. At the same time, we created a legacy for the team that came after us in high school. Because for us in high school, I learned in Sawagongo, we used to be beaten very badly by St. Mary's. Every year. But when we got to Form 4, we broke that cycle. And from then, Sawagongo beat St. Mary's every year.
So that's what you achieved.
Yes.
That's what you can talk about, basketball. But can I tell you something? To me, you achieved something very nice that makes you happy, but it has no impact to your life. That is one of the mistakes that youths make. We spend our time on things that will never have impact into our future. Look, there is time you spend on basketball. When you knew very well you will not go far with it, but there was something consumed called time. And they say time is money. So one of the biggest problems with our youth, we have not been trained on the value of money from the time. We have not been trained that time is money, and so every time wasted, it is wealth consumed. But imagine if you would have taken all your time studying graphic design. Where do you think right now you would have been? Imagine that time you spent on basketball. If you took it for designing, in graphic design, where do you think right now you would have been? I am very sure today if you are a graphic designer, you started drawing while you were young in primary. Probably in one way or the other, your mother may have even beaten you because you were not doing revision, you were drawing. Did you ever went through that?
We actually drew on the walls. One of the houses we lived in, and it was a very big case because when we were moving out, I had drawn portraits on the wall, and we had to repaint, and the landlord brought a very big issue.
And so mom was not okay with that.
She was very bad.
Now you can imagine if she had known that one day in your life that drawing will be one of the legs or the feet you shall use to run. Do you think what she would have done? She would have bought you a drawing board. That is why I said some of us, we have failed because of the mentalities of our parents. But one thing that we are also proud of is that we are the youths of today and we shall be the parents of tomorrow. So we don't need to repeat the same mistakes that our parents did. I remember I took one of my son and I brought him on a project that he really loved so much. Because when he was growing up, he used to send me, Dad, when you come, bring me some wires. When you come, get me an engine. Imagine when this boy was in class 4, he could send me to go and get him broken engines, radio engines, you know, from Fundis. So literally I could go to Fundis and I asked them to sell me broken motherboards. And I carry them in the vehicle and I take to him. And he could remove things. One day I saw him trying to remove things. Then I told him I will buy you a soldering gun. So I went and bought a soldering gun. But I was afraid this thing, when he puts on the fire, it can harm him because of the heat. So I had to train him how to manage it. Because also on one hand, I have to protect him. But today, I've come to realize the same boy has become a relief in some of the projects that I'm doing. Now imagine if I would have told him, you go to school, you must go to school. I feel I'm a prophet. I cannot go to a fundi kumwokotea boards zenye, kununua boards zenye zimaribika nimletee, motors, fans, you know. And one day he told me he wanted to make a robot. So he sent me some things which I could not even find. So what I was able to get, I brought unto him. But today, what that boy has become, it's a total and amazing thing, a relief that I never imagined one day he will be. Now, if I would have handled him the way my father handled me, ningelikuwa naongea kile naongelea leo. So some of us, we failed because the principles that our parents had, ni zile principle, you must go to school, you must come back home. They look at the book, mathematics, tick, 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 tick. English, tick, 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 tick. Kiswahili, tick, tick, tick. After exam, the first question is, ulikuwa number? You come and say, nilikuwa number 1. You eat chicken. But you come and tell mom, tumeenda athletic and I was number 1. That one is not anything. But look at our brothers from Nandi here. They are gold medal holders, winners, and they are champions, but they can't even express themselves in English. Because English is a language, it's not life. But they know one thing, we are not good in English, but we can run on mountains. So we will run so that we can go Germany and break a record. And when we come back with money, we'll build a tower. We'll build a flat. Go to Eldoret. Even the place is called the City of Champions. People don't know English. But that has not stopped them to drive big cars. It has not stopped them to have big accounts. It has not stopped them to have flats. But literally, let me give you an example. Come like Western or Nyanza, where I come from. My friend, we speak English until English asks us, what did you say? But that big English comes from a house of grass. That big English comes from someone who has been eaten by, zile jiggers, Someone has jiggers, but the English he will speak is bigger than the jiggers he has. Because our forefathers built a wrong foundation. So, number 1, our parents messed up. But that is not all. Why? Because there is a second opportunity. Now the second opportunity is upon a youth to get out of that mess and find your path. Because it's never late to a living man. It's only late to a dead, it's only late to a dead person. But as long as you are living, it's never too late. You can make changes. And that's why we have people outside here who were taken to school to become teachers. And when they came back with the certificates, they gave the fathers. Let me tell you a story of a musician, a Congolese musician. This man's name was Pepe Kale. His passion was in music. And every time he could go to sing or play music, he could hide. And whenever his father heard that Pepe Kale was found anywhere singing, that was a thorough beating. Why? Because the father wanted Pepe Kale to become a doctor. So do you know what he did? He decided, he went to school, he did medicine. When he was done with medicine, the day he graduated, he came back home with the certificate and gave his father and told him, the certificate of medicine he wanted, here it is, please keep it for me. Now I'm going to do what I love. His first song went viral all over the world. And do you know whom he sang? His own father. He composed his first song, and that first song was about his father. Not complaining, but praising his father. The song went viral. He started having shows, international shows. The amount of money he was bringing home could not be compared to what a doctor could bring home. We have so many Pepe Kales outside there. How about Kofi Olomide? Who knows that Kofi Olomide is well educated? But look, how many people who did the same profession he did are known the way he is known? So it's never too late to a living person. That's why I said one of the problems, we are living a life that is a lie. We are doing things that we don't love. We are doing things that we have no passion over them because we want to please. Yes, those things can make a life at the end of the day. Yes, they are not bad. They will bring a life, but it's a slavery life. Because you are living a life that you have no joy in it. You are doing things that you have no passion in it. That's not you. So you end up now doing it for survival so that you can bring a meal on the table. What would have made you to be the person? You lost it. That power was in you. So any youth who is listening to us tonight, you have to go back and ask yourself this question: what did I ever want to be in life? That power is what will make you. That power is what has your success. That power is what can make you shine in the arena. Then once you know that thing, once you find that thing, be persistent, be committed, and have patience. What is to be committed? Accept dynamics, accept changes. Let them break you, but don't be broken. Let them break you, but don't be broken. Because when they break you and you don't get broken, then they are modeling you. You are going through a process of modification. Let me give you an example. 2 years ago, God told me to leave Kisumu. God sent me to Nairobi. I was well established in Kisumu. First question was, why am I going back to Nairobi and how am I going to start in Nairobi? But that question did not make me to stop coming to Nairobi. But I won't cheat you that I didn't have that question. It was at the back of my mind, but it never made me not to come. Do you know why I came? I said, whatever I will face it, but it will not kill me. When I came to Nairobi, I got my first house. I had only one seat. Our table was a box. But this is a prophet who has come from Kisumu, well established. I didn't need to carry a table. My first table was a box with one plastic seat. Today, how many seats, even where we are seated right now, what kind of seats are we sitting on? Are you seeing that? So There were dynamics waiting for me, but I couldn't allow to quit because of dynamics. I came. When we were coming to Mlolongo, I went through a lot. Until some people say, if he's a prophet, why is he going through that? But there is no storm that is permanent. There is no storm that is permanent. And there is no wave that is forever. Because some of the storms that you will meet on your path, and some of the waves you will meet on your path, they are meant to test if you are the one. They come as a point of check. Check. 1, 2, microphone check. Are you the one? Now, when you wave and break off, then you are not the one. When you stand and face them, you are the one. Because a song cannot be sung. David has killed 10,000, and Solomon and Saul 1,000. If David did not withstand the testimony of who Goliath is. When David was told about whom Goliath was, it was a way of two things: quit or go ahead. Let's imagine David ran away. That song, ingelikuwa, nobody would have sung that song. So find who you are, then have a spirit of commitment and persistence. When you fail, do it again. When you fail, you do it again. Because in every failure, there is a lesson learned. In every failure, in every fail, there is a lesson learned. Search the lesson in your failure. Let the people want to mock you. Let the people want to laugh. Because it is you who know what you want, not them. So why are you bringing them into your life? Because human beings, people who is not you, they have got two things. When you make it, they want to come and celebrate with you. And when you fail, they want to laugh at you. So with them, they will go according to the results. But it's only you who know what you want to achieve. So in every failure, there is a lesson you learn. And that's why you need to be persistent. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. We had said it. A lot of practice makes perfect. So do it again. Don't fail and say, no, now I want to leave this. Let me try another one. No. Did you knew why you started that thing? Or you started because you wanted to start it? So people just start because they want to start. They are the people who keep on shifting. This has failed, let me try this. This has failed, let me try this. This has failed, let me try this. Who knows? Maybe even God, when he was creating us, the first attempt failed. And he had to come and create us. Maybe that part was removed. Because I know of his son called Jesus, who failed 3 times, but he did not remain there. Because he knew that he had to reach to that place of the crucifixion. He had to reach Golgotha. He failed and he arose. He failed again and he arose. And even a prophet said, arise and shine. To arise is to come from something that for you to arise, you are down. So when you know what your passion is, when you know what you want to be, when you know what you want to achieve, when you know what you want to become, apply the 3 disciplines. Be patient, be persistent, and be committed. Don't wait for people to come and encourage you for you to do it. Encourage yourself. Even when you're going through pain, because you know that's what I want to achieve, don't tell the world I'm going through pain. Consume the pain by yourself and go for it. If David would have not fought the lion, and if David would have not fought the bear, he would have not had the testimony to give King Saul, for him to be allowed to go and fight Goliath. Do you know that? If David had not faced the lion, and if David had not faced the bear, that David would have had nothing to tell King Saul in order for him to face Goliath. Why? Because he was a child and he was non-military. He was not a military and he was a boy, but his testimony is what granted him permission. But facing a lion and a bear, it was not fun. They are not toys. True or false?
True.
So if you want to become like David, face the bear, face the lion. Know what you want. Know what you want to be. Find out who you are. If you love that thing, go for that thing, because I am telling you for sure, you will shine. Let's look at a wider picture, all of us here. Let's look at a wider picture. Have you ever seen an aeroplane? Have you ever seen an aeroplane? Have you ever seen an aeroplane? Have you ever seen an aeroplane?
Yes.
Even the viewer, have you ever seen an aeroplane? But let's imagine the person who invented the aeroplane. Where had he seen it? The man or the woman who invented it, who came up with the idea of the aeroplane, where had he seen it, or where had she seen it? But today people come and say, you know, I'm an aeroplane, are they called mechanic or what?
Aeronautical engineer.
Aeronautical
engineer.
You know, I'm an aeronautical engineering. Now in the community you want to climb every mountain, every hill and every tree for people to know. But how about the man or the woman who invented it? He sat down, he had the vision, he had the idea, he had to invent the idea. So whatever you feel and you love can never disappoint you. Passion, commitment, persistence, and patience. You will never fail.
Prophet, if I may ask, maybe for us, like in Africa, I can use an example of myself. I really love basketball. I enjoyed playing basketball. I hoped one day to go professional. I can use an example of a testimony you've given us before. You used to play football. You loved football. You hoped you'd be a professional footballer. But we don't have equal opportunities compared to like in the Western world. Because in England probably, a boy who is like 12, 13, the moment they realize who kijana akopoa ball, you're taken into a sports academy. But for us here in Kenya, utacheza kwa hii maviwanja za vumbi, umie miguu, but your chances of going professional are very minimal. So you might be persistent, but probably you do not have an equal opportunity as someone who is probably not even as talented as yourself, but they are just positioned in a country where they have systems that work.
You know, it takes me back to what I said. Some of us, we are paying the price of the mistakes of our fathers and forefathers. Because those people, they don't have opportunities. No, they don't have opportunities. Systems were set by their forefathers. Now those systems is what for us we are calling opportunities. Okay, maybe you were not born, but maybe someone is listening to this program who was born by them. There was a time in this country we had a man called Joe Kadenge.
Kadenge na mpira.
Kadenge na mpira. If you ever heard the days KCB, we used to have a broadcasting station called KBC. We had tulikuwa na presenters kina Ali Salim Manga. You know, maybe you go and search on YouTube because we are Gen Zs. You know, kina Ali Salim Manga, kina Sylvester somebody there, you know, Kadenge na mpira, kina Leonard Mambotela. What foundation did Kadenge leave behind? Nothing. Recently, we had the seasons of Akina Oliech. Okay? At least I've seen it from Nyanza, Michael Oyunga has a football academy. Okay? At least this one now the light has started coming on board. But there was a time we had the days of Joe Kinoliech. What foundation did they leave behind? Nothing. But they had great names with great ability because it was during the time of their youth. But they didn't have idea that there will be people of tomorrow whom can benefit from my ideas and let me start something for them. But look at this. Why am I calling their names? I'm calling their names because the mistakes they did might be the same mistakes that we are doing. Look at, let me give you an example. Look at someone like Eric Omondi. He will not remain youth. And if you want to know he's getting worn out, look at the current comedies he's making and the way he's dressing. Nature is telling him this is where you are going. Do you remember the days Eric Omondi could make the punk and what? Nowadays when he's doing the comedies, the current comedies, how is he dressing? Big coat, mandevu, kofia mzee, because that is where he's heading to. But apart from him having the title, the president of comedy in Africa, what foundation has he left that can make other comedians to come up tomorrow with a better facilities than them by his name? But I thank God he has a good heart for people who are going through a lot in the community, and may God bless him for that. That one, we say God bless him. But that's not all that Eric can do. What Churchill is doing is that is not all that Churchill can do. Churchill can start an academy of comedian, and not just comedian. The word that Churchill has can even start a film industry in Kenya, his own film by his name. But you see, the problem is one: our forefathers never thought of the youths of tomorrow. They always thought about themselves, roaming with big cars, flying in and out, living in expensive houses. When the other side, those people, they were thinking of the future. Go and study the projects that Mr. Bean amefanya. Go and study the projects that Churchill, the real Churchill, and many more comedians. So it's about what you are leaving behind. What are you leaving? Today somebody will ask me, Prophet, you are talking too big. You are also a prophet. What have you done? I have a school here called East African School of Prophets. I'm training people to become servants of God. And once they will be ready, I will present them to God. God will decide now how he wants to use them. But for now, they must go through the process. And the process is training and sieving. That's the process. Laws comes, do this and this. You don't do it, you don't go to the next stage. Because for you not to go to the next stage, it is God who has decided. But once they will finish all the process required to the last phase, then I'll present the final team to God and tell, Father, these are the people who have gone through the process and this is the final product. Now you do with them the way you want. Tomorrow somebody will speak, somebody will stand somewhere. Tomorrow somebody will stand in a crowd of thousands of people and he will say, I am what I am because there was a servant of God called Prophet Samo, and he's the one who made me who I am. So I'm not just living a life because I'm a prophet, but I'm living a life of making someone to take over. And whoever will take over, it is God's choice. But before it becomes God's choice, I am shaping that person. Whether it's a man or a woman, I'm shaping that person. As long as the person allows me to shape him or her, that's all that I need. So imagine if all of us, imagine if our forefathers had the same mentality. Imagine if our government had the same system. What do you think would have happened? Look, imagine, look at now today. Let me give you an example politically. Imagine if Raila would have mentored someone who can take over his legacy by training him while he's still alive. But up to date, he doesn't believe there is a young man anywhere who can put his feet in his shoes. So when will he find that young man? When he's dead? Is he a God who knows how long he will live?
No.
That's where we fail. That is where we are still failing. And what is it that Raila has not had in life? He has seen both good things and he has seen both bad things. He has saved the nation in many dynamic ways. But he's growing older every single day. When there is a brilliant young man who can be better than Raila, but he just needs Raila to model him, to shape him, to mentor him. But you will find maybe he's not ready for that. So it's a repeat of mistakes. It's a repeat of mistakes. And that's why you see those nations politically. Go to America. How many parties are there? 2. Can you compare it with Kenya? For many years, they only have 2 parties. And every party has put system of sieving. They bring out the best to contest. In Kenya, every year we have more than 30, 20 parties. Because some is to make money. And yet we are just a developing country. Where is the problem? The problem is nobody cares about tomorrow and the people of tomorrow. That's the reason why your forefathers, when they were growing up, every child was for the community. It was until the narrative of this is my child, this is not my child, came to Africa and it was instilled in Africa. That's why we cannot progress. Because what I know, I just want to teach my child. Probably my child, that's not his line or her line. You are the one. But because you are not my child, I will not teach you. But if our forefathers and you, the Gen Zs of today, the youths of today, you will become the parents of tomorrow. If you can change the narrative that every child is for the entire community, then we will be able to pass the skills and the abilities into our youths, regardless of whether they are biologically ours or not. But when people have the mentality, this is my child and this is not my child, that's why someone will see the power in you, but will not support you. So we will advise the youths to go back and find, apart from education, go back. I have some 2 friends of mine. They used to be Koyo Junction here. It's called Umoja, Dandora, Kariobangi, Juja Road. Raunda. They used to be there. Do you know those people had how many flats in Dandora phase 1? And do you know the job they were doing? They were graduates. Do you know what they were doing? They were making chapatis. And they were landlords. They were 2 brothers. They were all graduates. Their father used to have a kiosk. He used to make chapatis. That's what took them to school. When they graduated and came back home and there was no employment, they decided to look for a junction and they went to Raunda. And they opened a place and they started making chapatis. In the evening, chapati moto. People used to pass there. Nifungia 50, nifungia 100, nifungia 50, nifungia 100. And you could find them wametengeneza chapati zimefika hapa. Until they took a room around there. They employed now people there. You could find even 5 men, 10 men. They are just making it. They trained them how to make chapatis. So their work was just to sell. Nifungia 100, nifungia 500, nifungia. In the morning, by 3 a.m., people are buying chapatis as they go to town. Some are biting as they walk. Some are carrying to take tea in their offices. People are stopping vehicles. Chapati. In the evening, now you don't talk about it. By the time I was leaving Dandora 2009, going to Kabete now, to live in Kabete. Those guys had 3 gorofas from Chapati. How many people have white collar job with suits every day and they're still renting? Because the type of an office you sit in can never change your life. What can change your life is not an office you sit in. It's the size of the pocket and what goes into that pocket. An office does not change a life. It is the pocket. What your pocket carries is what will change your life. Youths of today, you must get out of slavery thinking that I have to sit in an office. I have to have a job with a title when your pocket is dry and empty. Let me show you a reality. You have gone to school?
Yes.
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 You went primary? You went to primary?
Yes.
Primary?
Yes.
Secondary? Secondary? University? College? University?
Yes.
College? University? College? University?
Yes.
How many Hindu classmates did you have in primary?
Primary, I had a lot.
Because you schooled in a Hindu school.
Yes.
In secondary?
I had none.
In primary?
None.
In secondary?
None.
In primary? 1. In secondary? In primary?
None.
In secondary?
None.
University?
1.
University 1. University?
None.
None. University? University?
None.
Where do they take their children? Because that's the system they are using. System that our forefathers has rejected when they are working for them. Because a Hindu man, does my child know how to speak English? Yes. Write it? Yes. What do I want my child to be? An accountant. Straight to accounting. No nonsense of secondary. When he comes back from accounts, sit here, start accounting for our business. Come with ideas. How can we expand this business? The profit they make, they don't change the house to a bigger house. The child start his own business there. Baba sells this thing 50,000. The son sells it 49,500. The mother sells it 49,000. You come here, I tell you 50. Hey, let me check there. You go there, it's 49,500. You go there, it's 49. You buy at the point of 49. That money is still in the family. That money, they trap money. Because they realized one principle. Life is not made by great vocabularies. Life is made by the impact of finance. Something that our father and our mothers have refused to admit. They were enslaved in their own way. They were given power to come and enslave us. I will not cheat you. I'll tell you as a prophet. The only tribe that has seen that light and is somehow walking out of that nonsense is Kikuyus. And this one I'm telling you for free. I'm a prophet of God. Me, I'm not, in fact, I'm not even a Kikuyu. But I'm telling you, the only tribe that has seen this and they are gradually walking out of it, it is Kikuyus. And if you want to know it is Kikuyus, go to River Road, go to Nyamakima, go to Luthuli, go to Moi Avenue. Start counting the tribes which are there. And they're just doing business. A child goes to school to know English, to know how to do mathematics, every weekend assisting mom to sell. Because life is not built on the power of the grammar and the English. Life is built on the power of economical, power of finance. And a nation that has proven to the world it can work, it is China. They write everything in their own language, but that does not stop us from buying them, even when we can't read what they have written there. Have you ever bought something from China and it's written in Chinese? Did it stop you from buying because it's written in Chinese? No. You bought it.
It's quite interesting that in China, kids at a young age, like 6-7 years old, right now wanatengeneza robots. They code hizi mavitu za computers, and they are constantly empowering themselves, because right now I am sure nikikaa na mtoto wa 13 years wa China na tuanze kuongea maneno ya computer, I cannot be on the same wavelength as.
And when in Kenya you have to reach university,
you cannot learn that.
In Kenya you have to go to university when the brain is already rotting. That's when you are going to learn computer packages. Now you come back, you want to make noise to all neighbors. You know, I'm a computer expert. That is where we have failed. Not we as youth, but that's where our fathers failed. And we should not fail at the same place. So, how can a youth become successful? First, find who you are. What is your passion? What is your love? Go for that thing. Apply the 3 principles: patience, commitment, and consistency. You'll make it. I know of a friend of mine who has a company of sound in Kisumu. Right now, his company is the one leading in sound, strictly for gospel. But when he started, people talked, people laughed, people called him names. But the persistence he had and the commitment he gave is bringing results. Right now, almost every great name of the gospel, they are going for that company. We want so and so to come and do for us crusade. Right now, he can charge what he thinks. You know, and now people are even fighting for his things. No, I want you to, it's me, you should come for my crusade. It's me. But when he started, there are people who laughed at him. I saw him starting. People called him names. But the persistence and the commitment he had, he could work even during the night. He's making boxes, making speakers. And he said, I'm not going to buy from the shop. I will make my own, with my own taste, with my own features. Today, people have gone to buy sound from shops. Their sound cannot play like his sound. When he started, he had no name. But today, he has a name. Why? You cannot be persistent and committed with patience on what you love and you fail. So the problem that many youth have is that they are what they are because that's what was preserved. That's what was served to them. I'm a teacher. Why are you a teacher? Because my father took me to school to be a teacher. Did you have the passion of being a teacher from the word go? But look at the people who had passion of being teachers. They started by being employed. They quitted employment, they started their own school. By 5 children, then 10, then 20, then 30, then 50. All of a sudden they have 600 children, they have 1,000 children. Imagine you have a school of 1,000 children and per term each child pays 1,000. 1,000 times 1,000, that is how much? 1 million. And you have teachers who are paying 30, 40,000.
Prophet, if I may, in line with what you are talking about, there's someone online who is asking, someone may have a talent, but they need financial boost in order to make it shine. So I think a lot of young people lack the finances to be able to.
A finance is like a story of Adam hiding behind the tree because he has committed sin. I've seen people who have made it in life without finance. If you have no idea, even if you are given finance, you will do nothing with it. But when you have the idea it's a finance by itself. I've seen great people, billionaires, who started with a business of 5 shillings. What can 5 shillings do? To a drying, dreaming, sleeping brain, 5 shillings is not enough to start a business. But to someone who has an idea, 5 shillings is enough to start a business. Because there is a business of 5 shillings that can bring 10 shillings. When the 10 shilling comes, you do away with the business of 5 shillings, you start a business of 10 shillings, which can bring 20 shillings. So gradually, you will get the finance you are looking for. If you want to go to a tower, 10th floor, don't despise the first stairs of the first floor. True or false? So, people saying I don't have finances, it is just a myth to me, because it's not the finances that works, it's your brain. Do you know a real wise person knows what he wants, but a person who is not wise doesn't know what he wants. There's somebody who can tell him, I want to give you 10 million. I want you to start business. And he will look at you and tell you, no. I want to give you 10 million, you start a business, then you refund me after 5 years. There's one who will say, how much? 10 million, make it 11. Make it 11. In fact, even 10 is not enough, make it 11. But there is another one who will tell you, how much? 10 million. No, I just need 1 million. Why is one saying no 10 but 1, but another one is saying 10 add 1? Can you add another 2? Because the one who is saying give me 1, he has a plan. It is the brain that are going to work. It's the brains that are going to work. This man is just a jump starter. But the one who is saying add me more, he has no even idea. That is the person who will give 1 million, him and a phone. Wase, mko wapi? Tukutane joint. Leo nitawachafua mbaya. Why? Because they are 11 million. Even if I drink 4 million, still 6 million can start business. But the other one says, don't give me 10, give me 1. Why? Because he knows he doesn't need to return so much. He will be working and laboring for no value. 1 is enough to start, because it's easier to return it and I move on. So a youth who says that he wants to invest, he wants to become what, but capital is a problem, that is a youth who is lazy. Sons and daughters, when I came from Kisumu to Nairobi, the day I started the ministry in Nairobi, I had only 11,000. What can 11,000 do? But look at this church today where you are seated. Look at the kind of media we have. Look at the kind of gadgets we have. Are they worth 11,000? So where did the money come from? Working brains. The Bible says, if you are not faithful on little matters, you cannot be faithful on big matters. And if you can't see value in small matters, even if you are given much, it will become a burden. Success is not in what you have, is in what you can do with the little that you have. That's why the Bible says God blesses the people little by little. And that's why our ancient wise people said, haba na haba hujaza kibaba. And the wise English people say, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step. Not a mile, a step. I've seen people who didn't have capital, but they had ideas. They went to look for an employment, not to be employed, but to generate resources to start what they had. And some even did a job of selling njugu. Wengine hata walienda kukua maid, purposely to raise money to achieve the dream. They had to go and wash for people 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, just to raise. I know of people whom today they are managers and directors, but they used to go and farm for people in order to pay for their own school fees. I have a professor, a good friend of mine, he's called Professor Buya, Isaac Abuya. He's a lecturer at Nairobi University, Kisumu campus. When that man shares with you a story of how, where one day he sat down with me and he told me, actually, our vision, Africa experiencing what, it was his knowledge. He's the one I called and I told him, Daktari, I want you to come up with a mission for me. You have been with me, you know what I'm doing. Come up with a mission statement. And he came up with the mission statement. But one day he sat down with me and told me, Prophet, I used to go and farm for people, raise money to go and pay for my own school fees. I go to school, secondary. In the evening, when I come from school, I go and I start plowing for people. I start plowing from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. In the morning, I wake up at 3. I go, I farm for people up to 7. Then I come back home, I take a shower, I go to school. That did not stop him from becoming whom he is today. And he's a very brilliant brain.
So it's a matter of being proactive.
It's a matter of being proactive. So let no man, no woman say that because I don't have, let no youth actually, because this program is for youth, let no youth say I don't have capital. That's why I cannot do. You are a lazy person. You have lazy brains. Even God made man out of the dust. So from your dust, you can also make what you want. If God made us from the dust, then from our dust, we can make the kingdom, the empire we want. It's a matter of challenging yourself. And you cannot challenge yourself by what you hate. You can only challenge yourself by what you love. So your passion, your interest is what matters. Your passion, your interest is what matters. That is the game changer. If you want to change it, concentrate on your passion, your interest. Find your passion, the path. Then apply the 3 secrets: patience, commitment, and persistence. Doesn't matter what they say, how they say, it's them. That's not you. What they say does not matter to your future. What matters is what you say to yourself. Because human beings, in the morning they will mock you, in the evening they will praise you, depending with what you have achieved. That's people. In the morning they will insult you. In the evening they will start coming. And everyone, I did not laugh at you. I didn't say anything. It was so and so who said. Me, I was just looking at them. Because you have made it. So what they will say depends with what you are achieving. Life is yours. Good. I can see our time is over for today, for you young men. So allow me to leave you so that you can do your own summaries. Until next time. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Question? No? Time. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you all for listening to us. I'd also like to thank the Prophet for making time to deliberate with us as young people. I think we have learned a lot, and he has taught us so much that we should emulate, and we should try our very best to become who we are meant to be, to become successful. So we have learned about patience, we have learned about commitment, we have learned about persistence. So I hope each and every youth out there has listened to this session that we have had, and I hope it will make a good impact in their lives. Maybe I hand over to my colleagues to say something.
I hope you have learned something from that. I hope as a youth you will change your life for the better. You should emulate the 3 disciplines as it has been stated, and also changing your mentality shall be a very big step in your life. That's all for me.
what I've learned in today's program is that your mindset has a great impact of who you need to become. And also you can start working on the little that you have in order for you to provide for yourself. You don't need anything much. That's all.
Yeah, so today has been a very impactful session for myself, I believe for my colleagues as well. So from what we've learned today, I believe it is just the beginning of something better, and I trust that the next session that we have is going to be even better than what we've had so far. So apart from just listening, guys, kindly apply whatever you've learned in your life, and that is what is going to make a change. Don't be just a passive listener where you listen, you write notes and you keep them somewhere, but apply this knowledge in your life, and I believe that it will help you and change your life for the better. Thanks.